Hey everyone, it's Adriana and welcome back to another linear algebra recap video. This is going to be going over week 3 stuff. Let's get started. Week 3 went over chapters 5 and chapter 6. And then for the assignments wise, there was the 2 quizzes, one for chapter 6, one for chapter 5 and one for chapter 6, and then there was the second test 2, and then the week 3 projects that I do not complete. For chapter 5 was on lines and planes in 3D space. Chapter 6 was on collision detection. In chapter 5, which was on lines and planes in 3D space, it basically was all about having to use vectors to find the distance between a point and a plane, or having to determine the distance between 2 lines in space. A lot of stuff that was learned in calculus and I think college algebra. A lot of different math classes. I remember learning some parts of this in this chapter, so it shouldn't be too unfamiliar. And as far as the new stuff for chapter 5, lines in 3D space, rays in 3D space, line segments in 3D, properties of the lines, properties of rays, and properties of line segments, and then what equation to use for each plane that passes through 3 points, aka a triangle, and then what are the properties of planes in 3D space again, and then the distance between a point and a plane, and then half space tests. This was something I hadn't seen before. And then finally, the projection of a point onto a plane. It was all about collision detection. Collision detection, based on the definition, is the computational problem of determining if 2 or more objects are currently intersecting in the virtual environment. And it will be used a lot in the gaming industry, in particular virtual reality, physical simulation, computer games, robotics, all that kind of stuff. This kind of stuff it's going to be extremely important for me to understand. And one of the first things that it went over was rectangular Cartesian coordinate systems and orthonormal basis, and then world space or generalized coordinate systems in a frame, and then rigid body orientation, global rotation, and local rotation, body frame and or local space, transforming a vector point from a local space to a world space, knowing how to transform a vector point from a local space to a world space, and that basic primitives, separation contact, resting contact, and colliding contact, sphere collision detection, and sphere plane collision. For the chapter 5 quiz, I did 1 attempt and I did get the full 100 points, and there was only 20 questions worth 10% of the grade. And then for chapter 6, there was also only 20 questions worth 10%, and I did use the full 2 attempts. First attempt I got a 70, and then second attempt I got an 80. So far that is my lowest grade so far, and if my predictions are right from the last recap video, the bonus points that I'll get from completing the test will probably apply to the chapter 6 quiz. And then week 3 project, of course, I just marked that as complete. And the test 2, I did fairly well on it. It was 25 questions and I got a 96. And that was week 3 of linear algebra. If you have any questions, let me know. And that will be it for this recap video. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the final recap video for linear algebra. Bye!